Good evening, welcome into the stream. Hope everybody's alright tonight. Just dropping in. Right, so I just want to make sure all my numbers are right here before I go on. Pull up the microphone a bit. First time I've heard that. Okay, so I don't know if the stream's going to go alright tonight or if I'll be able to do it all the way through, because I've had some problems with my PC over the last 24 hours, and although it looks like I've fixed it now, I really don't know. I'm just a bit paranoid about it. It looks like everything works alright and doesn't seem like anything's getting backed up or anything, but we'll see as the stream goes on. How it gets on. So I'm just in this little system here. Well, as you can see in the background, you're gonna hear my mouse a lot connecting and disconnecting to the USB, because there seems to be a problem with that as well. But that might actually, I've realised that might actually just be a crappy mouse. I think it takes a bit more than that, Marshall, but yeah, I think I've sorted it out. I'm hoping it's all sorted. I was at a bit of a loss earlier, but then I've just come across some startup processes that look like they were trying to do something they shouldn't be, so I've stopped that for the time being. But as I said, this mouse has been up and down all day, so I really don't know whether the mouse is going to be connecting and disconnect. See, you can hear it again there, and I don't know why it's doing it. I'm not moving anything in particular. Maybe it's a wire that's coming loose inside of it, but it's really annoying because you can hear that USB sound all the time. However, the good news is I just found this untagged ammonia world here in this system, which is a good start. I can see Brian's just come online, so I think I'm going to go in and bring my jump range down. Or should I say push it up? So go back onto fastest routes. I don't know if we need to use a jet cone really. It's 10 jumps, it's not a huge distance. The system we're going to is actually... Hey Kathina, how's it going? The system we're going to tonight looks really interesting, as long as it isn't an abnormality that has been fixed. Because you know what they're like. I won't tell you who they are, but you know what they're like. And then, well, we'll see. Hopefully it should be alright. So, without further ado, we can get going, I think. Brian in menu or in game? He's in game, so... Oh, he's a bit... No, he's close to me, actually. Right to wing. Bob's moving it a bit. He's gone from like 4,000 light years to 5,000 quite quickly. Right, okay, off we go.
Shift drive charging.
Alright, did you enjoy it, Kathina? I thought you were going to say finally you got the division. Never mind. I'll never win that one. Well, I've changed headphones and the bass on this one's really poor. Desktop audio is just a bit higher than I would like. I'm gonna have a look. I'm gonna have a nosy around the systems as we do this. Oh, did they just kick in? Apparently the fumaroles, I think they're called, on the other planet just kicked in for Brian when he logged in. They were they weren't doing so well when I was there, so it's not too bad. Did that run out? It's too busy sending me stuff. Invite to wing. Oops. 1. Right, so did I actually choose something to head towards, or did we just drop in here and not bother checking anything? Did I check? No, I didn't. There's an Earth type there. So let's run through this one. G star. So that should be okay. 351. Could be terraformable. 872, more or less. Could be. All 4 of these could be terraformable, which would be nice. I didn't mind the crate actually. Can't remember what I liked about it because it was a while ago that I bought it. I don't think I've touched it since I bought it. Probably updated the FSD as I do with everything straight off the bat, but maybe that's what I liked about it. Could be. Weird stuff like that. Oh yeah, it is terraformable. We could have like 3 terraformables and an Earth like on top of that ammonia world that I just came across. It's pretty good going. Now, is this looking at places I can maybe do a pit stop or a pit stop on the way to Sagittarius A to sell that data that I've got, if indeed they said they'd given me it back. So I assume I'm holding it at the moment. I'm not too concerned. The ship's 98, it's alright. Unfortunately, until I can do the side step to Colonia, we're probably going to have to make do with what we've got. Neither of us have got repair limpets or anything, so I didn't really think about it myself. I generally, you know, I generally feel comfortable going out into the black. I transported something somewhere once that had a fine on it, and it put the transportation price to the roof. I was gutted. I'm guessing this Earth like isn't, so none of these are tagged. Nearly every system I'm jumping into now is completely untagged, which is really nice, because you think about an Earth-like world being worth what, 465 roughly, and then you obviously get the first discovery on it, which really bumps it up. So oh, cripes on a stick, this is going to be a nightmare. Hang on, people. I haven't got a spare mouse either. I did, but I don't know what I've done with the USB plug-in on it, so... Maybe it was something with Bob. So this place we're heading to now actually has something quite interesting, like I say, which is really good because it's one of the first things that I'm... Do you know, it wasn't playing up until I started the stream, and then it's just started... Oh, keep doing it now, hang on a sec. Should be okay. Ah, it's Julie getting you into trouble, is it? Oh no, this is getting ridiculous. This wasn't doing this before the stream. There really is no way around this, I don't think, unless... I'm gonna try one trick. I'm just waiting for it to install the mouse. It installs the driver and the mouse correctly. Yes, it has. That might have solved the problem. Thinking Jack over here. Sounds like it has actually. No, it hasn't. It hasn't. Oh, fuck. Sorry about this, people. The problem is, Kathina, I haven't got any left. One by one, recently they've just been going down. If you remember, in the middle of one stream, one of them went down, another one went down, and I'm just losing parts like there's no tomorrow. And the really weird thing is, some of them don't really get used. They've just constantly got something plugged into them. And like I said, this wasn't a problem till I started streaming. It was happening earlier and then it stopped. Now it's just going for it again. It's the mouse. I know it's the mouse. Right. Fingers crossed. It's not doing it now. So if I can just stay still for the next 3 hours. Right, let's go on with it. If I just don't move anything for the next few hours, I'll be alright. Are you in chat, Brian? Wait. Shooting that. Oh, Brian, what I did was I had to go out of Horizons. Well, at least that kind of semi-fixed it, touch wood and everything like that. Touch wood and all those extra little bits and bobs, and hopefully so. I'll just have to be really, really nice to it for the rest of the night and hope that it manages to keep together. I wish I could say the same about myself. So And this is all on top of other problems that I'm having with the PC as well, so... But... looks like everything might be alright. But if I do cut off suddenly, it means I've had a crash. Got it sorted. The thing is, another thing is that when I do have the money and time, I really need to run my PC in for a little bit of a going over, because although it works alright, it needs maybe a good cleaning. I'd like to maybe add more power to it. I think the power pack's insufficient at the moment. It wasn't when I first got it, but I just think there's...
Frameshift drive charging.
Cleaning software, as in so for like files and stuff, yeah. I use a few different bits and bobs. Depends what I need. I mean, I kind of, without being really knowledgeable, I do know my way around the computer enough. Do you know what I mean? So, for example, I do most of the time, for example, if I stop using certain USB products, I'll get rid of all the drivers and stuff and things like that, and try and make sure that the computer is generally clean enough. I got a kind of semi-virus. It wasn't really a virus, it was more like malware came in through the back door of a web downloading website. Well, not, I wasn't actually downloading off that website. It was my own fault. I wasn't thinking, and I just clicked yes, and I managed to kill it halfway through. But it made me spend the night having to clean the computer up and stuff. I don't know if I've used that one. I use CC Cleaner, which is another free one. I quite like that one because it also has startup options and things like that in it. I used to use Malwarebytes, but I've just had to take it off because it was freezing the computer all the time when it was loading, which is a problem with quite a few people have with it apparently with Windows 7. So I'm trying a different one at the moment. Then my main, I can't remember what the name of my main antivirus, because I don't look at it that often, apart from when I'm running files to mark as safe through it. Admittedly, I probably don't clean it as much as I should. It's kind of generally as I'm going along. I'll give this one a miss, but I'll have to do this one. Are you jumping yet, Brian?
Trying to land my ship now.
Are you trying to land it now?
Mm-hmm.
Actually, mine landed alright, but what happened is I couldn't get in it. So I ended up just logging into the normal version and going into orbit. So anywho people, welcome into the stream. I hope everybody's had a good weekend. I would have liked to have streamed a bit more today, but as I said, I was having problems, and to be honest, I might have to rethink Sundays. Well, at least early streaming on a Sunday, because there's a lot of sport on Sunday and Saturday night, so I'm generally catching a lot of that up as well. It takes up most of the day. I'm always worried about overheating, Kathina. That's something I generally worry about quite a lot. Hang on, am I offline? Why is, I'm not in this game. Hang on a moment. Where's my live dashboard saying I'm offline? Stupid thing. Oh, laptops are a nightmare for it, yeah. Yeah, definitely. I hate laptops. In general, actually. For gaming. I just don't like laptops in general because you can't really do them up as well. So, you know, I've had this computer for 6-7 years now, and all I've really had to do is plug new graphics cards into it. It's got a decent. It had an i7 processor. No, i7. I can't remember which processor now. I forget everything. No, what's it got? Yeah, i7. So it's got i7 processor in it. Shed loads of RAM. I think I might have gone overboard with the RAM. Well, 16 gig anyway. But it pretty much runs everything normally as it should. I've never had a problem. I've never had a problem with games or anything. I'm not doing any video editing, so it doesn't really need anything extra, I don't think. Yeah, well, I was actually thinking recently of getting more RAM because I do have a game or two which actually hit it pretty hard, and I have started using my PC more as a media server as well these days as well, so I wouldn't mind a bit extra. It was overkill for when I first got it. The guy was like, "You don't need that, so just put it in." I've got the money now. How are we doing, Brian?
I'm boosting my FSD.
Boosting the FSD? What's that? Is he far behind? Let's just check, because I've only got 2 jumps to go to this place, and I don't want to get there too early. Let's have a look. Oh, he's a little bit behind. Okay. Oh, he's boosting his FSD. Okay. Right. Right, what we can do is we can go galaxy map, and we'll go into just economic jumps until Bride arrives. He shouldn't be too long now. Just let us know when you're about 2 jumps out, because I'm just going to jump into economy until you catch up.
Well, I'm 10 jumps away.
Frameshift drive charging.
Oh, sorry, Ellen's-Gar. I got a bit of a virus thing yesterday. I've been clearing my PC up and just getting it running well again. Otherwise, I'd have actually been on earlier. Hey up, Malcolm. How's it going?
Fuel scooping complete.
Found a nice water world earlier, quite big one, but unfortunately it wasn't really, it wasn't terraformable.
Frameshift drive charging.
What is the price on them, Kathina, if you don't mind me asking? I think you should upgrade so I can have your 1080. I would love a 1080. How many subscribers do you think you need before you can get free stuff out in a video?
Fuel scooping complete.
It's always the same when a new one comes out though, isn't it? It's a bit like an Apple. G class, well, we can't go too far. G class will go to 872, so... I think that might be alright. It's 100 off, so... It's probably alright, that one. I keep meaning to rub this song off the playlist. Don't really have anything to it. I don't even know if people can hear it half the time. Oh yeah, that's a bit too much, I think. It's more than I paid for my whole build. Graphics card included. It's one of the only reasons I actually want Bitcoin to fail. It's not for people to lose money, it's so that the graphics card companies start selling them at reasonable prices. I know it's a selfish idea, but I just think graphics card prices are just a tad expensive. And what's Nvidia's competitor called? I've forgotten.
I just found another terraformable rocky body.
Oh yeah? I thought I'd found one earlier actually, but it wasn't terraformable, unfortunately.
AMD?
It fitted everything else, but just wasn't terraformable. AMD... Could be. It's the one who've just released the graphics cards that are about 100 quid, 200 quid cheaper, but have pretty much the same specs on them. I've forgotten the name of the company now. Okay, so we've got 2 terraformable
Well, it's Radeon, but it's... I don't know if it used to be ATI or AMD or... It's one or the other.
Yeah, I think they've like changed the name now for these new cards, but I can't remember what they'd actually changed it to. I might have dreamt it.
I've got one of their cards. I got it before the boom in the microcurrencies kicked in. Like, literally my card like tripled, quadrupled in price over like the space of a couple months.
Yeah, I mean the price of cards now, they're just a bit ridiculous for my liking. Considering if you want to keep them up to date, they really don't have a very long shelf life. Like I said, if I was like Sanando or something, getting 30 grand a month from gaming, you probably wouldn't. I'd probably be investing stuff in like that all the way along, but it's not happening at this amateur level. That's all I can say.
I'd love to be able to sit on Mars and play games and make money from it.
Yeah, so would I in a way. I mean, I know the people who do like make a lot of money. There is a lot of work involved in it. You don't just sit there and play games. That's the problem. I don't know whether I'd be able to put in all the extra work. No, there isn't. You're absolutely right. There really isn't at the moment. Just, I mean, there's that thing of just.
Can't be as bad as manual labour.
No, no, but I'm sure it's got its own pressures.
Frameshift drive charging.
I mean, I always think about you're fighting other content creators a lot of the time. I know a lot of content, well, even in Elite they're doing it now. A lot of the content creators kind of come together when they realise the game's getting popular to try and make sure that they keep their positions. I know with the whole Red Dead 2, there's 4 or 5 people that kind of stick together when they're making videos and big up each other in their videos and stuff. So it's a competitive, very competitive thing to be in.
It's even worse on Twitch. I mean,
Fuel scooping complete.
it's really hard to get going on Twitch.
Oh,
There's so many people already established.
It's supremely hard to get going on Twitch. Yep. I mean, I stream every day on Twitch. It goes out on Twitch every day. But Twitch works on the base numbers, doesn't it? So if somebody's got higher viewers, then I'm at the back of the queue. Oh, you really know how to make a man moist. Oh, I thought I could get that much. The worst thing about when I upgraded my card actually is I didn't realise it when I was upgrading it because I wasn't paying attention. I didn't write down my old card's proper specs. And when I bought the new card, although I didn't pay a huge amount for it, the actual upgrade is really nominal because it makes up for stuff in certain areas, but in other areas it lacks. So I kind of made a bad decision with this card, but I won't next time. Alright, son.
Frameshift drive charging.
Yep, and just and RAM in general as well, of course. Like, you can have really good clock speeds, but if you haven't got a lot of RAM, you can't load it into the game. So I generally go with the cards that people say, oh, get this card, but when I bought this one I really wasn't paying attention to this fully to the specs when I probably should have. But like I say, if I was to do it again the next time I upgrade, I'll certainly be taking it more into consideration and seeing if there's any decent knockoff ones out there. Well, not knockoff, but on Wish you can find some pretty good ones, just as long as you don't go daft. And think that you're going to get something decent for £25. Which I've seen people
So
buy.
what card are you running at the moment?
This one's a 1050 Ti, I think.
I've got a RX 580.
See, I don't really know them, but I think that's the one I was thinking about earlier when I was thinking about the ones that are pretty much the same as the Nvidia ones, but a little bit cheaper. When did you buy that one?
Oof, 2 years, nearly 2 years. When I built this computer, I mean, a good year and a half to like 19-20 months, about that time, roughly.
I think I scanned that properly. Yeah, but Nvidia has this kind of progression of pay a little or pay a lot. There's nowhere quite in between, is there, with them? That's the thing. I mean, people would say 1060s in the middle, but I mean the price point's a lot higher. But yeah, AMD is kind of like, what do you want, you know? It's saying Brian's a little bit behind me. I'm not quite sure myself. Oh. So anybody been doing anything exciting this afternoon? Kind of watched all my... I just spent the day watching all my sports teams losing. It wasn't the best day for me in that way. I'm fixing the computer, of course. I did yesterday. I was playing, played a little bit of Batman Arkham Asylum, which I haven't touched in ages. Great, it's still a great game. What is it, 10 years old or something? It's 10 years old and it's still just, it's a really good story. So home. Do you, Julie? It's a good laptop, though. Do you think that actually the good thing sometimes about a gaming laptop is if you have... I dabble in lots and lots of different games, so I'm constantly installing, reinstalling, and whatnot. But if you're just playing one game, like back in the days when I just used to play Flight Simulator, a laptop really can do the job. It really can.
Shift drive charging.
But oh, I couldn't play in bed. It feel weird. I don't know. It feel weird to me.
I like when Apple brought out the first gaming laptop, had no fan on it. Guess what the main issue on the product was?
Hot knees.
Possibly, yes.
Yeah, you too. Julie's is good, but doesn't it overheat, Julie? Okay, everybody in this stream has a way better PC than me. Oh, we've got an Earth type. That's good. Oh no. Damn it. It's a yellow mud planet. But we have got an Earth type. No, we haven't. It's water. Oh. It's got that tinge when you first drop in, and it's a G-star. 351. So we're going to start here and work our way out. I don't think that was going to be... Ooh, that might not be, because it's a binary. So it might just get pushed out. You know what, I'm not going to waste time, because I am jumping towards a destination here, so I'm not going to waste time going after that first one, because I really think with it being a binary, it's going to push the Goldilocks zone out there, so I think pushing for something maybe 100 light seconds over might be in its realm. But I think going to one close to the line, I'm probably wasting my time. It's probably too hot. On the bottom of the laptop removed, wow. If ever I won the lottery, I would build a I'm not even kidding, I would build a I would build a full-size replica cockpit and play in that. I'd even buy the captain's outfit. Okay, so yeah, we pushed that a little bit and it is terraformable. This one should be terraformable too. That one's too far over. So we've probably got 2 terraformables in this system, which is good. And now we're out in the deep space. I mean, you really don't come across anybody else's planets. Maybe when you get super close to Sagittarius, we might start coming across other people's stuff, but everything I've been scanning for the last probably 100 systems has been mine. So, which is very, very good, very exciting. Now you will know this is an alcohol-free stream tonight. No, because if I get VR, then you have to watch it in VR. It would be, it wouldn't be fair on anybody. No, I'd have it fully kitted out. I don't know how I'd get around the holographic bit, but we'd work our way around it. Oh, so that one probably is terraformable. Never mind. Okie dokie. We shall move on to the next one.
Frameshift drive charging.
Yes, I've got my first day back at work tomorrow, so I'm going to keep it alcohol free and clean tonight.
4, 3, 2.
Yeah, I'm 2 jumps away.
Ah, me too, I think.
Fuels intake complete.
Oh, that's a hidden ammonia world right there. Just found a hidden ammonia world. I'm just off to scan it.
I found a world that was 18.5 Earth masses. I was scanning the thing at like 700 light seconds.
I was just saying that earlier. I found a really big one. How big was yours? Did you say?
It was like 18 something.
Mine was a bit small. I think mine was 15, but I scanned it from a really long range. But unfortunately, it wasn't terraformable. The payoff on that would have been really nice. I mean, I've still got first scan, so there will be some type of bonus in it. Oh no. Any weakness, Kathina. First day, any weakness. That's it. First day you've got to go in. You've got to. It's kind of a bit of a mix. You've got to be really hard, but you've got to make it super fun so that they know that that's going to be the tone for the. Wait, that. Sorry, that wing chat's not meant for you, Brian. Okay, so we got that one logged. We can move on now.
Frameshift drive charging.
As well, if I go in a hangover, they'd be screaming. I know they would. It's just how lucky it is.
4, 3, 2.
If anybody has a map of the stations on the way to Colonia, if they could post it into Discord in the useful link section, I would be over the moon, please. So, oh, we are 10,000 light years. It's not that far. But a bit further than that. Right, let's have a look. Oh, we got another big one. That's what she said. So we have to hope it's an F. Please be an F. It's a G, I think. No, it is an F. Alright. We might be alright here. This might be terraformable. I don't know about if it will be with... I don't know if it will be with all those gas giants around, but... I'm assuming that's to do with the car stuff, Elliot's just anybody who's just reading the chat for the first time will have no idea what you're on about. I'm just gonna quickly check some details on this. Thanks, Brian. Right, so fingers crossed this one's terraformable. It's pretty big. 16. Just found another water world, 16 times the Earth mass. It might be terraformable, this one.
Nice.
Oh, you should do, Cathedral. You could do a bit of exploration on the way. That's the thing. That's what Bob's doing at the moment. Bob's a fair distance now. He was smashing it earlier. There you go. Look, he's all the way out there. He's on his way to Gru Hayupe or whatever it's called. Haipue. I'm guessing. Big grin on his face. Right, should we just see if that one's terraformable? Oh, it's not. Damn it. I wasn't sure with all those gas giants around. Righto. Last jump into the system. Got my wing. On. Oh well, I hope with the exploration updates it'll really bring a few things that might just get people going. The only thing I'm bothered about is it correct me if I'm wrong, but I know they did do a terrain update so that the planets looked a little bit nicer. But didn't they say they were going to do more? Not just with the ice worlds. I was sure they originally just said this is just the beginning. Whoa. So, we're heading towards...
There's meant to be a lighting update as well.
Ah, lighting update, okay. Right, we're heading towards this second gas giant, the first blue one with 3 rings.
What, the one that I can scan for the sun?
Yeah. Okay, thanks, Marshall. Thank you very much. It's just so I can plot any stop-offs a little bit better. Actually, Marshall, you're the one to ask. Is there any stops? I don't think there is. I'm in fact pretty sure there is. There isn't, sorry. Is there any stops between Colonia and Beagle Point? Or is it just, that's it, you're out on your own? Yeah, I know, Kathina, that's the sad part of it. I'm not going to go shoot it, am I? I'm just going to go up a bit here because this thing has huge... nothing after Beagle, okay. Okay. I have to really pull back on the... Oh, don't worry, Marshall, I got you when you first... with what you first said. I didn't even notice the mistake myself. Yeah, technically. You're right. Right, now, I don't know if we have to actually physically drop out of Super Cruise here. I'm supposing we do. God, I hate doing this because it's just such a pain in the backside. Oh. No, I think I'm at the right point here. But... oh! Damn it. I'm not being bloody foiled again by this game, am I? Either I'm in the wrong spot, or it's another thing that's been fixed. And knowing my luck, it's probably another thing that's been fixed. Jeez Louise, that was a bit frightening for a second there. Right, I'm just gonna... I'm gonna head out to the edge. No, I don't want to be climbing. Okay. Oh, it might well be. I don't know if it's me. Oh, it's not doing it now. Wait 1 second. Let me go out a little bit further. No, everything looks pretty static. This is a shame. Right, so I'm gonna just check it because it isn't doing what it's supposed to be doing, which is a little annoying. So I'm gonna just come around a little bit here. Take us down a slight bit more and then take it level. Right, let me just read the description. Now, looks like it's been fixed. So is that what Frontier do? They go through all the anomalies in this game and then apparently fix them. Let's have a look. I'm going to drop out of Super Cruise a second. Go down a little bit and I'm going to drop out. Yeah, FDev have fixed it. Yet another one. Okay, I'll just make sure it's not my mistake, but I don't think it is. Class 3 gas giant. That's probably Class 3 gas giant as well, but that's not the one. Oh, Brian, it's another dud, unfortunately. It's something that's been fixed by FDev. So, I'll explain that these rocks used to move really...
Working as intended.
The thing is, if you've seen the videos of it, it looks really nice. The rings actually orbit the planet faster than you can circle it in Super Cruise. So what's supposed to happen, Kathina, is yeah. Oh, somebody's saying they went to look for something else as well, and it's been fixed. These rocks are supposed to orbit the planet faster than actually you can in Super Cruise. So you can be kind of going along in Super Cruise pretty fast, and the rocks are still overtaking you. And I saw a video of it, and I just thought that's a really good spot to stop off at. But no, my mouse is acting up again. Hopefully, it's only because I just whacked it by accident. But again, another fix, and that's the third thing on this journey. And I'm really worried about this now because I don't want to be going everywhere and having stuff that's not there anymore. Because you'd think places like EDSM might have actually been updated to say that doesn't exist anymore. But a lot of the places aren't. I'm just going to see how many ships have been through. 20 ships have passed through here in the last 7 days, so you'd think it might have been mentioned. It's a bit of a shame. Yeah, it seems that way. I mean, I don't want to say I'm totally right, but it says second planet in, the blue gas giant, class 3 gas giant, which is what that is, with 3 outer rings, which is 1, 2, 3, and then it says go to the outer ring, and the outer ring moves faster than your ship in Super Cruise, and I can see a picture of it. Looks like the distance I'm at. That's a shame. That's a big shame. I can't remember what it was we went looking for the other night as well, and that had been changed. That had been fixed as well, unfortunately. So we are going to go to, if I can get it, BLEAA. 1 second, people. Oh, didn't open my thingy list today.
Did you get that picture I sent you of the fumaroles?
I did. I was thinking when I took off earlier, I was thinking I bet this get active about 5 minutes after I've taken off. let's just have a look what I've done with that. Where is it? There it is. When you drop out, when I'm out of Super Cruise, it doesn't look like it, but when I go into, I'll show you. I can try it. I mean, I might be wrong. I don't want to say I'm right about stuff if I don't actually know, so I'll give it a whack, Marshall. But I think I was pretty much on the edge. Whoop, yep, there you go. I was on the edge of it. I mean, what I could do... No. Yeah, that's the one. That's the one I was looking for, Marshall. The one that's 1,000,000 kilometers wide. But yeah, that seems like it was it. I can go back up a little bit and look back down again. But it did say the outer ring. I could try the inner ring. Yeah, that's that one, isn't it? I mean, it's it doesn't look as thick as but that middle one is the first one I went in on actually, and then I moved out here. Answers on a postcard. If you think I'm wrong, Marshall, tell me where I'm going wrong and I'll have another look at it, because quite often I am. BLEAE. Let's have a look. I need to resave this document because it's keeps saying that it's that it crashed or something. BLEA dash no dash AEWSY AEWSY. Bam. Let's see what this one is. This is a nebula. Okay. Right. That's the one. Right, I'll post it in I'll post the next one in Discard, Brian. There we go. That's probably why it's unavailable for you. Idiot! Let's go back to that one. Click it off. Wait. Click it off. Delete. Okay. So. I didn't move till Marshall's posted something back. Just in case I'm wrong. Okie doke. Well, it looks like Brian's off anyway, so might as well. Might as well do it. It's a real shame that they do that, though, Kathina, because I know that they've said things like Mitter and Hollow. They said, okay, we're going to leave it in because it's just so freaky. But in reality, you don't know if... Shall I have one last look right at the edge? I don't want to go too fast towards it. Quite hard to do it from that angle. Maybe if I do it on the side as I'm heading towards my little... There we go. So as we get closer, because this is the very outer ring, you should be able to see when those rocks start dropping in there. You should, in theory, they should be moving. So Ah, well.
Frameshift drive charging.
Ah, it's a shame that wasn't there. I mean, funnily enough, if they want to fix abnormalities, why don't they start fixing some of these nebulas to look like the real ones instead of just really pasted, you know?
Fuel scooping.
Don't know how many jumps the next one. 18 it says.
Fuel scooping complete.
The only other thing I do have a question about is on some of the systems is that it always seems, I don't know if it's the time of day that I stream or what, but every single time I land an ice geyser.
Swifty,
Yes.
come to my location.
Oh, okay. If I land at an ice geyser or whatever, it always seems to be on the dark side of the planet, always. And I just don't know why that is. Now I know that I stream at night, so that could be... that could be the reason.
Frameshift drive charging.
But if it is that, does that mean that everybody who's playing it in America just sees the dark side of the planet half the time? But in all seriousness, I don't think I've landed on a light side. Unless it's... unless it's just something I do. Oh, so you've noticed the same thing, Kathina? It seems really strange, doesn't it? Every time I take passengers to a location to have a look at something, always the dark side. It's so strange. And sometimes you wonder if... oh... is that a black hole hidden there? Where is he? Where are you?
Oh, you don't see it on your map. That's a huge water world. It's massive on my screen. I'll show you a pic.
Oh yeah, so it is. It just shows up as black on my map. Have you scanned it?
Yeah, I scanned it. 2 seconds.
It could be that, but I find it very, very strange. I wonder why that's not showing as an actual... see, could have fixed this. I thought it was a black hole. Right, let's go have a look at it. This is really strange because it isn't scanning it. Is it really big or really small?
I scanned it for like the sun. It's huge.
In my game, I'm 3 light seconds away from it, and it won't scan it. And it looks really small. It's so strange.
Well, I sent you pics on Discord for the system view.
All right, I'll have a look. I'll have a look. But if you have a look in stream now, look how close I am.
I'm watching. It looks nothing like that on my screen.
More problems. This must be why.
See, I literally like jumped and done the honk, and I was like, "Oh, that's big." I turned it and I scanned it for the sun.
The really strange thing is I can't even scan it. It's like, it's not even actually, I've just looked on my left panel, it's not even in my list, it's like it doesn't exist. So, as I was saying, yeah, spinny rocks round planets or hologrammatic planets? Which one's less realistic? Come on. In all seriousness, come on.
That's actually really weird that's happened just after you were talking about bugs and glitches and stuff.
Exactly. David Eichwald. Ay, 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 señor. Ooh, frame shift drive's a bit might be getting a bit cranky soon. Let's keep an eye on that and give it a fixer upper if I have to. I've just realised that when I said I wasn't drinking, Julie said 07 and then disappeared, and I didn't know whether she actually dropped out the stream or not. So if you just joined the stream, people, come by, say hello in the chat. That's what it's there for. You can say hello, 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 hola, bonjour, whichever one you want. But do feel free to come and say hello, because that's what the chat's there for. So, let's see. No. Oh, I know why I'm dropping in these systems. I always make this bloody mistake. Why do I do this every single time? There is a reason you have nothing, Dr. Bond. Okay, 17 jumps. Have a look at this nice nebula. A bit Austin Powersy. So were you playing for long then today, Kathina? Or was it just literally in and out? Pardon the pun. Julie must have gone off to bang some marmots over the head with a hammer. The actual thumbnail picture today is a picture I took at one one of the planets on the trip. So I think every single day I'm going to use a photograph either from the day before or from a couple of days before and whatnot. Unfortunately today there was nothing really to take a photograph of or a video of.
Fuel scooping.
Did you go to
I've got
Shinra?
a question for you, Swifty.
Go on.
See right now, we jump in system, we honk, we see the whole system, and you decide if you want to scan whatever you want to scan. If you're on an exploration trip like this, with a new update, do you want to do that minigame every single system you drop into to see what's there?
Well, essentially, you'll drop in and do the honk, and yeah, as we would now, we would look at the map and pick and choose what we want. You would do the same thing in theory. You would open up your little explorer thing, and then you would look at the frequencies, and you should be able to realize at that point, okay, there's a metal world somewhere here, or there's an earth-like world somewhere here. The extra tiny bit of work you'll have to do is kind of finding which one it is, but you'll know it's there.
Yeah, but all that little extra time, even if it's like 30 seconds per planet, if you add that into your journey time, that's a lot of time.
But you won't be flying towards it anymore unless you wanted to go and take a picture. So you would be able to scan it right from the sun.
Frameshift drive charging.
So they're saying that instead of flying, we're going to give you this kind of in-game thing to do, to take up the time that you would normally be flying. But my thoughts are, well, you're just swapping one thing for another really, because you're just going to be staring at a screen, looking at a few frequencies and then moving around to scan the thing you want. And then if you do want a picture of it, you'd have to fly to it as well. So then you've got two jobs.
Yeah, so that's literally double the time if you want to see it.
If you want to see it, yeah, which a lot of us, I mean, a lot of times you don't, do you? You just scan it and move on. I think the one thing for it, depending on how long the scans take on it, I don't think they're going to take that much longer. It will be good for logging stuff like gas giants, or the ones I'm thinking of are like the planets that are 18, 19,000 light seconds or 100,000 light seconds away.
Frameshift drive charging.
But knowing FDev as we do, you probably have to be at the sun to scan the things that are orbiting it, I presume.
What we forgot to think about is what if you want to map it? You've still got to go to it, so you've got to do the scan game. And if you want to map it, you've still got to fly to it and then do the map game.
Yes. Yeah, that's the one thing. But having said that, again, the mapping is going to reward you for doing that extra work.
We better keep all our current scan system data.
Yeah, they said nothing would be changing in that sense. Like I've said before, the only thing I think people are truly going to be bothered about is if I jump into a system, see an Earth type, take my time to scan it, but then find out it's tagged by somebody else. That would annoy some people, because especially people who are just out there looking for first time stuff.
Frameshift drive charging.
Yeah, because now you can just look and see if it's been discovered or not.
Yeah, but like
it's a tricky situation for them because they can't really let you see it with their new system they want to bring in.
I would presume with a slight amount of tweaking of the game, as they've probably already done, what I would have is if you jump into a system where I've scanned a planet, that planet should appear on your honk.
That would make sense.
You would still have to scan it yourself if you want the money for it, but I think it should, on the honk, it should just appear, and that would work around it all.
Yeah, only if someone's handed in the exploration data
Yes.
and got the money for it. Yeah, that would make sense.
Frameshift drive charging.
But I don't think they'll do that because that guy went white when somebody asked the question. So he was like, oh crap.
Any question was asked.
Yeah, I mean, you will be doing something, Kathina, and I think that's the interesting part of it. And I think that working out the radio waves, and as far as I'm aware, you will be able to filter things out. So, like, you can kind of filter certain things when you go down onto a planet's surface. Apparently, as you're jumping and scanning, you'll be able to filter things out, which makes exploration for those expensive places a little bit more interesting. That might be terraformable, that one. We'll go have a look at it. It's the only one in the string. It's on the...
You do realise what FDev has literally gave us, right?
Sorry?
They've gave us the SRV wave scanner, but in space.
Yes, yeah, I did realise that. Yes, that's what I think they should do, David. I really do. I think it's a very important thing that they go about doing, because essentially it would say that universal...
That's a new gameplay experience right there.
Yeah. How I feel is that if you've got a Universal Cartography's computer with a Universal Cartography's machine, then your database should be up to date. As Brian says, if somebody hasn't handed it in, maybe it shouldn't show up. So when you do hand it in, you're like, oh crap, that first discovery wasn't mine, because somebody else managed to get back to base with it. And that to me would be acceptable. I wouldn't have a problem with that. Didn't know. They never do know. I think that goes back to what I was saying about payouts, though, if somebody else shows up and stuff. I don't know about no one, Kathina, because near the bubble it's a nightmare now. And new players, it's not really fair on them. Personally, I've noticed that... By the way, hello Cameron, I'll get to you in a second. My personal opinion, Kathina, is that you don't get paid as much if it's not the first time log, and the first time you log something, you get paid a lot of money for stuff. It's nearly 300-400 grand on some stuff. So I don't know about not getting paid anything. If they lowered the payouts a little bit, I don't think I'd be too disappointed. Oh well, thanks for coming in, Cameron. You're more than welcome to sit in for a while and watch with us. Although I have hit a band of pretty crappy systems at the moment, so I apologise for that. Hey Jobolo, how's it going? I mean, I'll be honest with you, Kathina, if they up the drop rate of high metal contents, earth types and water worlds a little bit, maybe I would take it that you don't make money for scanning somebody else's planet. Hey Chris Farr, how's it going? Welcome into the stream. And so for anybody who's like Cameron, who's just jumping in for the first time, me and my wingmate, the Flying Scotsman...
I think you should still get paid for scanning someone else's scanned planet, but it should be like a diminishing return, so the more it's scanned, the less you get.
Yeah, or you could up the payments considerably on undiscovered places, but that would mean when you get into open space like this, you would be making money. Yeah,
hand over, scanning everything.
Hand over fist.
Even if you scan like a crappy planet, if the bonus is 200k, you'll scan anything.
Well, the bonus is about 200k.
Yeah, I'm talking about like suns and asteroid belts and stuff.
Ah, right, okay, yeah.
It's like if they increased the profit on every new discovery. So like let's say like an asteroid belt was like worth 10,000 per bloody rock. You'd scan every rock and you'd have a nice little profit, and then scan everything else in the system. You'd be making millions every system.
Yeah, exactly. So for people who are just joining in, we're making our way to the core at the moment. We do plan to go to Beagle Point afterwards, but we're just making our way towards the core at the moment. This is day 5 of the stream, and we're just under halfway there to the core. Every one of these little bookmarks here is somewhere that we're going to visit along the way, and we will endeavour to stop at most of them, although I am having to filter some of them out at the moment because I didn't realise, but they're, how can I put it, in reality they're astronomical places to actually that have some historical value, but really in game they have nothing. So those places I'm trying to filter out as we go. Other problems we've had is that things have been either anomalies and are not appearing in game, so it's either that FDev have changed them and taken them out the game or something. It's a bit strange that they have with a couple of them, but it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, if they up some things, Kathina, I wouldn't mind it. The problem with all this payout stuff and this oh, I think I just whacked my mouse again. Hopefully it won't.
I could understand
go haywire
to a certain point with them removing bug systems if there was like thousands of them in the game, but if there's only like 10 or 50 or something, if they're all scattered about, why not just leave them in and let people find them?
Well, they say because it's not realistic. The only reason they left Mitter and Holland in the game is because people kind of petitioned for them too.
Swifty, it's not realistic. We can fly at 2,000 times the speed of light.
Oh yeah, but that's within the law. I don't write the rules. Oh, you could say it's like people climbing Mount Everest these days, isn't it? Yeah. I don't know, but yeah, I get what you mean. I do kind of understand, Kathina. It's just it's a very, you go after one thing. I could listen. Anything that anybody wants to be in this game, I could look at that job and say whether things need balancing, pushing up or pushing down, and we all have kind of our beliefs about, like, I don't think that, you know, if you think back to the original Elite and how kind of delivering stuff and buying from one market and selling to another, and the fact that that really doesn't it really doesn't exist in this version of the game properly is pretty sad. But maybe it does. Maybe it's just everything else pays out too much. I mean, I know that like people like Hutton Truckers and whatnot do the still do it the kind of traditional way, if you will.
Well, either everything pays out too much, and a combination of certain things costing too much.
Shift drive charging.
So I'm not saying every new player should be able to have a Corvette or a Conda within like a week or anything, but some of the prices for some of these modules, it's like you buy a Conda, how much is a Conda? 100 and whatever million? Some of the modules are more than the ship.
They are. I actually sold a ship once, and I think I sold it for 700 million or something, or 500 million or something.
what was that, like 2.5, 3 times the value of the ship?
Oh, probably more. I didn't realise how much it was worth until I sold it.
It's like, see if you go and like buy a Cobra or like a Asp or something cheap, Diamondback, and then you E-grade it. The price of the modules compared to the price of the ship is crazy.
Yeah, I definitely think module prices could be maybe brought down, but there's obviously a reason within their idea of how the game works as to why the modules are so expensive. There must be a method to the madness, you'd think. Okay, we've got actually a few nebula around here. We've got these 3 off to the left. Well, I've jumped now. But we had those 3 off to the left, and then we had the one there. Let's just get off into the... So there, yeah, you can kind of see them. You can see 2 of them just off to, slightly to my left there. Just quickly have a look in the system map. What are we? F star? No, G. Right. I knew it was G. Just been lazy. 350. That's one of those weird sandy coloured ones. That means it could be terraformable. It might not be. Yeah, exactly, Kathina. I mean, there's that whole thing, isn't there, of having to grind stuff. Oh, I'm going to overshoot this one. I wasn't paying attention. But that doesn't necessarily mean all games should be either. It's one of the reasons I don't like some MMOs. Because the grinding kind of takes over what it lacks, doesn't it? Right, okay, yeah. Yeah. And there was, well, there was end games in them as well, wasn't there? If it's not going to be terraformable. Oh, it is. It's going to prove me wrong. Okay, alright. I don't mind being proved wrong. I don't mind. Oh, this nebula's looking alright closer up. But, like I say, a lot of the nebula look very, very similar. But we're still a few jumps out. Yeah, 3. So it should get better looking the closer we get. It's looking pretty good.
One of my favourite nebulas is the Colgate Nebula.
Yeah, I like that one actually. It is nice looking.
And I don't think I've ever found another one the same as it.
I have somewhere.
If you think about the number of copy-paste nebula in the game.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. I like the S. I think it's the SR region. I like that because there's just so many really bright suns close to each other. It looks really good, and there's a nebula right behind it. So let's quick look at this one. See what I've got here.
I suppose that kind of makes Barnard's Loop and like the area of like Witch Head and Orion and everything special because they were all handcrafted.
Exactly. I mean, why they didn't handcraft a few more, I'll never know, because it would have just... Yeah. It would. I mean, this one's looking really good as I get close to it, but it's not that I haven't seen... They are, I think, they're all kind of different shapes. Is it the brown one, Marshall? Well, let me just slow down. I think. Oh, that was meant. That was meant for Marshall. Sorry. Marshall keeps telling me about water giants, and I've forgotten what water giants look like. Oh yeah, I remember water giants now. I think it might be this one here. Yes. Okay, yeah, yeah. So... they are worth 1,700. But he keeps pointing them out. Yeah, Kathina, I mean, I suppose it is what it is, isn't it? You just have to accept it for what it is. I mean, at least they kind of have ongoing storylines, even though it normally means Thargoids. You alright, Bob? How's it going? But I can always tell the water giants because they've got that weird line. Because it looks like they did the map on the front. So I might as well grab it. Oh. How close do I have to get to this bloody thing? Oops, a daisy. Alright, thanks Kathina, I'll try and remember that. Oh, so it does. Thank you very much for that. I'll try and remember it. I'm like, brain like a bloody sieve. Okay, so at these distances though, these nebula start to look a little bit pixelated. I think it's the best word.
Frameshift drive charging.
When you're in Barner's Loop as well, I can't remember which I think it's might be the main nebula actually. There's a point where you almost feel like you can touch it. You can get that close to it. A lot of the other nebulas, you're kind of either quite far away or inside.
Yeah, like you're right on the edge.
Yeah, but this one I can't. I think I've still got it tagged where I was. It just feels like you're really right on the edge of it. Okay, so we're gonna take off orbit lines here, and we're gonna fly as far away from the sun as we can, as long as we don't have Earth types. Which we don't, but we have got some interesting things here. Understand it's... We could have three or four high metal contents here, so I'm going to stop off and scan them. It'll get me away from the sun anyway, plus it'll be money in the bank. Did you arrive to Gryu Hawaii or whatever, Bob? Looked like that's where you were going. And just passing a little twin one now, so I don't know if it's actually that one or that one. Can't be that one, can it? That'll be further away. So we'll slow the ship down, get the scan done. I'm really hoping that these are kind of all terraformable. It would be nice. Oh, by the way, I was reading some results the other day. It's actually better to have the fast scanner than the long range scanner by quite a long way, apparently.
It depends on what you're doing, actually.
Tell me more.
See, with the fast scan, you've got to get close to scan, and it scans fast. But with a long range, you can scan for obviously long range, but the closer you get to a planet, the faster you scan. So if you can scan it a bit further, if you keep flying towards it, you can actually scan it quicker than a fast scan.
Right, yeah, but I'm thinking the thing I read was all about, it was about high value worlds. For example, definitely long range scanner, if you're scanning gas giants, is an absolute must, because you probably don't even have to fly to them.
Half the time I'm lazy, I just like to point and scan if I can, if I don't need to move. It's a bonus. It's like, when you're out exploring, you're not in a rush anyway, so what's the point?
Yeah, I suppose so.
If you were doing Road to Riches, then yeah, put a fast scanner on.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm just going by the numbers, but it was saying if you only go after high value targets, it's the fast scanner you want rather than the long range one. So I'll see in the future. I might just buy another scanner and get that one done up and test it, and then you can go with whichever one you feel is correct for that trip. So this one was terraformable, this one isn't, so...
Doesn't really matter though, does it? Because Q4 drops, you won't have a fast scan.
Oh, you might still have the extra bits.
No, they said if you've got an upgraded planet scanner, it will give you more ammo.
Ah, okay. So that tells me, that actually answers the question that I was wondering earlier, is that the range on it must be infinite. Okay, so we've got a couple of nebula here. Let's actually do this from outside the ship, because I always like to get pictures of nebula outside the ship. We've kind of got these four of them here as well. Oh, there's a ton of them within range. So we're gonna just set that all up, and then I'm gonna have to drop out. Let's try it again, shall we? So always drop out of Super Cruise when you're taking a photo. I'm getting a bit of glare off that sun, unfortunately. Maybe if I do that, and I cut the sun out of the picture. Okay, there's a good one. Paint. Come on, painty wainty. Okay, there we go. Right, just get this saved up, and then we can. I'll have a look at what the next location is. Picture number 27, I think now. And we'll drop out of that.
I hope FDev's copy and pasting off Nebula isn't going to mean that this space phenomena, you know, like space lightning and whatever else they add in, is going to be maybe 4 things that's copied, pasted all over. I'd rather have like 5 or 6 rare things than have 100 things that are the same.
Are they supposed to arrive in the exploration update as well?
As far as I know, yes. I've not heard them say they're out. I know the carriers and ice planets and stuff are out, but as far as I know, that should still be in.
Right, Greer. What's it called? Greer? April. So I'm going to just check this, people. I'll be 2 seconds. Greer. Hi. It's going to say, no, this doesn't exist. Oh, no, it does. Okay.
It's Like, I hope they're still in it for Q4.
Yeah, me too. I'm expecting a lot out of Q4 now if they've had to dump a load of stuff off.
I can deal with fleet carriers not being added. I can deal with ice planets not being added. I know they're still using some of the textures, but see if they got rid of the phenomenon. It would be like, well, what's the point in having an exploration update without anything to explore?
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm not talking about planet scanners and stuff, because that's just too many games for me. That's all they are.
Let's have a look. Right, okay, so our next stop off is supposed to have an interesting mixture of planets, apparently. Okay, well, it's en route anyway, so we'll see how we get on. Okay, I've sent you the next stop, Brian. Oh, before I get jumping, let's change all the... Well, with the exploration updates, I mean, hopefully, you know, in all seriousness, with the exploration updates, hopefully good things will come for people so that they do want to go out and explore. I mean, I can totally understand where you're coming from, Kathina, but I'd be paying them with a bullet. Well, actually, Kathina, you have a really good point there. I would like to be able to put my fleet to work. I really would, and have some type of NPC daily payment. Almost being able to hire out my ships to NPCs, because it sometimes seems a bit of a waste having all those ships sat there doing nothing.
But then, do you want an NPC? Do you want combat if you get hijacked?
I've got insurance.
Yeah, but if they keep dying, think of the rebuy cost.
Oh no, they'd have to pay that. They'd have to pay for that when they take out the lease. Right, so we've got what? We've got G-Star here, so we can go anywhere. 351. Okay, we'll be doing all right here. I think that might be a bit too far. Yeah, these. Oh. I think these first two are going to be terraformable. I didn't even select it there, did I? So... Do you know what I would like, Athena, is that I wouldn't mind paying a lot for it, actually. I'd like some combat modules, even if they cost a lot of money, that could just wipe out the enemy. At least the non-elite ones with just a couple of shots. Sometimes combat can be a very long, drawn-out affair. Good, says the person who hardly ever does it. Right, let's keep fingers crossed on that one. I wasn't sure. Yeah, it is. So this one probably is as well, if we're lucky. Actually, if I was winged up with you, do I get the bounties or do I have to shoot on them as well? Do I have to be the one to finish them off? Or is there like wing bounties? Oh, I think I just knocked my my mouse again. But the thing is that one of the, I mean, it's a bit selfish, but one of the reasons I want an exploration update actually is to make streams like this a little bit more exciting as well, because sometimes I think, you know, I've come out on this trip in search of interesting places, and a lot of the time you're kind of getting somewhere and they've either been patched out or whatever, and it seems a real shame. Alright, okay. Terraformable, nice one. Okay, so that system worked out alright. A couple of these nebula actually look quite nice. I don't think they'll be that good looking close up, but I think just with the galactic plane behind them, they look pretty good. Oh, I've just got a hankering for roast potatoes and Yorkshire puddings. I don't know where that came from. I know what I'm doing tomorrow. Well, that and when she gets the whip out. Do you use the whip when you're playing Elite at all? Asking for a friend? Right, let's have a look. Could be a decent... Oh no, it's got 2 suns, so... probably not going to be that good. I really need to acquire a mouse tomorrow. I don't suppose anybody's played the new Spider-Man game, have they? Anyone? Bueller? Could be alright. Crap. It looked really good when I dropped in on this one, and then I'm like, no, it doesn't look that good actually. Well, I've seen people playing it and it looks amazing. I don't normally look at people actually playing, but I couldn't quite help it with that one, and it looks phenomenal. But I have to save all my pennies for the whatever over-the-top price edition of Red Dead Redemption, so unfortunately I was saying before in stream that I really like the Batman games. Again, I'm not a huge comic geek, or I do like the newer Batman movies, but more because of how gritty they are. But kind of the comic Batman I'm not really that bothered about. But the games I really enjoy them. Terraformable. I'll go do this one because this will be terraformable as well. And the other one I'm not so sure about, so I think I'll leave it. And it might be too far actually. I mean, funnily enough, I was watching one video, and when he swings through Central Park, I actually recognised somewhere that I'd been with Ellersgar. So they've done a really good job of mapping parts of the city into it. No, I didn't actually. But that's like a bit of fantasy. I'm not, well, I say I'm not into stuff. I don't always know till I play it. When I was a kid, I used to really be into like fantasy. You know, like I like He-Man, the Beastmaster. What was that other one? Labyrinth. I read Lord of the Rings, Narnia, and all that stuff. I really liked it, but I don't know why. But some playing games with all that armor and sword stuff, it's not really my thing. But Horizon Zero Dawn, I can't remember if it's like that or if it's set in the future or something. Might try it one day, Christopher. I've got some of them. I've just well, I've got PDF versions of them, but I've just never really read them. Like I say, it's for some reason I don't know why I like the games, and I think it might be the puzzle solving that I like about the games. I really like the Riddler, when the Riddler gives you clues and you have to look around and find them. I really like that element of it. I like the bit where you have to reconstruct crime scenes and stuff. I really enjoy that. I might have to have a look at it then, Kathina. I'm probably thinking of the wrong one. It's not an MMO, is it? I don't think I've got time for another MMO in my life. Is it a PlayStation exclusive? Yeah, I get what you mean, Chris. I mean, I have an ebook. It's a paper feel ebook, and I love it. I've never picked a book up since I got that. It goes everywhere when I'm.
Frameshift drive charging.
No, it wasn't the gelato place. It was where we stopped off in the park, and we were next to that lake with the little boathouse. Hey, there's a weird one. Far Cry. Brian had Far Cry as well. I got a test version of Far Cry, and I really thought I'd enjoy it, and I've
still got Far Cry.
I didn't really like it. Did you finish it?
Yeah, I finished it and I started a new game, but I started a new game before the New Game Plus came out, so I would need to complete it again.
I really hated the way that the enemy respawned.
Oh, they've changed a lot in the game. A lot.
Yeah, 5 stars, 607. What I mean by the spawning, for anybody who hasn't played it, is you can kind of clear the enemy out of an area, and then they'll respawn if you go back there 2 minutes later. Actually, one of the ideas in the new Division game is that you're actually going to be able to clear areas, but after a certain amount of time, if you don't keep it clear, enemy will start coming back, and I don't mind that idea. Having said that, Far Cry you're kind of playing on your own, so I like the hunting mechanics actually in it, but I think Red Dead will knock those out the water. Ooh, we've got an interesting store here, but it's a bloody long way. That's 10,000. How many jumps have we got? Oh no, not with 27 jumps.
Drive charging.
It is, Christopher. I mean, to be honest, it does it in the new Ghost Recon, which really kind of annoys me, because even when you've cleared out a place and it shows up as clear on your map, if you go back there, there's still NPCs there. Until you clear the whole part of the map, every last one of the missions, then the enemy presence goes down. Whereas in the original Ghost Recon, which I was a huge player of, put many hours into that game, as soon as the enemy was dead, that was it. But it wasn't open world, so... But that's one of the things I'm looking forward to in the new Red Dead game, because they said they're dealing with mechanics like that. There will be a passage of time, and certain things will happen in the towns that you visit based on your decisions, which I think I talk about in Elite, more organic environments for us to live in. That's the future of gaming in my mind. I want to see kind of the environment changing based around your gameplay, you know? That's what I want to see more of in games. I mean, to be fair on it, in Ghost Recon's Wildland, you know, once you've fully cleared an area out, you go past and you'll hear NPCs kind of talking about how things have changed and whatnot. But hang on a sec, so I don't know what I'm looking at here. G, so it's up to 872, so that'll be alright. Oh, it should be alright. Alright, we'll give these ones a whirl. Because there's a twin and a singular one, so I don't mind going the extra mile when there's a twin. Well, the thing is, in Far Cry, you kind of have to go past some areas, and with that mechanic, I mean, all the Ubisoft games have exactly the same mechanics in them. That's the thing, whether it be Far Cry, Ghost Recon, Assassin's Creed, Splinter Cell. They've all got this thing of the enemy sees you and then attacks you, and you have this kind of closing perimeter of them about to see you.
You don't need to skip areas in Far Cry.
No, I said you have to return to some areas sometimes, you have to pass through them.
Well, it depends on what level you're at in the story and stuff. Because technically, in Far Cry, you can be in areas where you shouldn't be at that point in the storyline.
Yes, I get what you mean, but I was just hitting on the fact that I was talking about the respawning things. So, for example, you go do a mission, you'll clear an area out, and then you kind of have to go... Well, you don't have to, but you go past that area a little bit later, and suddenly the enemy starts attacking you again when they see you. Like somebody's saying, if it was a patrol that comes along and kind of picks up the weight, then it would kind of seem more realistic. But with Ubisoft, they just respawn stuff. It's not just Far Cry though, they do it in all of their games. It happens in Ghost Recon, it happens in Assassin's Creed. Yeah. Oh, it also happens in
Elite as well.
It happens in Watch Dogs as well. Yeah, and it kind of happens in Elite the same, yeah. I totally forgot about Watch Dogs. Watch Dogs has exactly the same game mechanics. The only difference in the games is the way that you... Generally is the way that you traverse the world and the options available to you for combat, but the kind of enemy AI just doesn't change at all. It seems to be the same in all the games. Oh, unfortunately they're not terraformable. Yeah, one game you have radio towers, So like, what have you got in it's radio towers in Far Cry. In Assassin's Creed, it's the highest point. In Watch Dogs, it's cell towers as well.
5, it's not.
What is it in Far Cry 5 that opens the map?
Well, one of the first missions there is a tower, but that's them trolling the shit out of the previous mechanic. It's like basically in Far Cry, once you've found a place, you've found a place. You don't need to climb a tower to spot it.
There is something that unlocks the map though, isn't there?
No, you can find like spots on the map, like you'll find maps in game.
That's it, that's, yeah,
for like,
I remember now.
Special mission items like lighters and baseball cards and stuff, but
I mean, I'm just...
It's not like previous Far Cry games when you had to go up the tower to unlock the area.
I mean, funnily enough, in Watch Dogs it kind of works, the whole hacking a cell tower and getting access to all the data. So in some of the, and I guess in Assassin's Creed, because you get to see the whole surrounding area, it kind of works. But I'm just pointing out that in their games they lean on the same type of mechanics. The NPCs act very, very much the same way in the way that they spot you in all those games. I call it semi-stealth. Sometimes they can see you behind a wall, sometimes they can't.
I suppose from their point of view, if it works, why would they fix it?
Oh yeah, I mean, I think it's the standard design. You could make a lot of different genres out of it using kind of like the same mechanics. But it wasn't until the other day that I was thinking about when I was playing Watch Dogs. I was like, wow, this is just a futuristic Assassin's Creed. And then I was thinking about Ghost Recon's Wildlands, because I actually quite like that as well. And I was thinking, God, there's so many things that are really similar. In Ghost Recon Wildlands, I think you have to unlock your safe house to get all the information. I think. In fact, you have to like kind of drop into the area and go to your safe house, and then I think it unlocks everything. Oh, another water giant there, Marshall. Just so you know, I've spotted it. Wasn't ignoring it.
Frameshift drive charging.
I mean, I'm not complaining. Like I say, in Watch Dogs, I think it works very well. I'm not a big fan of the whole spotting system of what they use in Ubisoft games, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. And sometimes in Watch Dogs it feels like they spot you way too easily. Actually, the one thing in Watch Dogs 2 I don't like is the listening ability of the enemy. The enemy seems to be able to hear some stuff from a mile. Yeah, we can go... That one I'm not too sure, because it's one of those yellowy ones. And quite often they turn out to be non-terraformable. But having said that, I think the last one was. have to have a look to that next time. Next time I'm on a bargain hunt, I'll have a look in the shop. We don't get a ton of bargains here, but oh, it's not terraformable. Oh, well, let's just move on. Does anybody think we'll be getting a new species in this game, in Elite? Anybody think that's going to happen? It's been touched on, hasn't it, in the storyline? Are we going to get like a new species to help us fight the Thargoids? Or people were saying it might be the Guardians coming back, but that turned out to be the Guardian fighters, didn't it? You don't think, Christopher? I thought with the new exploration update they might have something.
Well, we've not found Raxley yet, and Raxley was meant to be portal to another bloody galaxy or something.
I think Raxler will get unveiled the day that they upgrade the engine and make you buy a new game. You'll fly into it or whatever, or land there, and it'll go into the Frontier store.
We brought out like Elite Dangerous 2, a brand new game, but on the same purpose as this game, but with like a new engine and stuff. But they let you keep your progress from this game into the next game. I would buy it.
I would guess that if it's all server sided, they probably would. It would be the correct step to take with this game.
If it was a new game and grind all over again, I wouldn't touch it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's why they. Well, I don't think they have any intentions of moving to a new system anytime soon. Anyway, I'm gonna skip this system. I don't know why. I just have a bad feeling about this system.
Frameshift drive charging.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know the difference between the Thargoids, apart from the way that they attack you. Oh, that one's a bit nippier. They did, Bob, they did. But with the new exploration, you might be able to go down to a planet and find something strange. You know? And it all might get unveiled. There's definitely something to be unveiled in the Formidine Rift at some point. The story that I was following there when I went to visit the Formidine Rift was super interesting. Marshall's actually out there at the moment. Probably worth dropping in on all those places, Marshall. Because the story in the Formidine Rift was very, very interesting. Very interesting indeed. And it pays well to scan the places out there. Well, I always think back to Commander Jameson's log about what he saw when he went into a Thargoid mothership, and I'm just like, you know, because we look at them as these big organic things, but I don't think the ships are the. I don't think the Thargoids are incorporated into the ships. I think they are. Oh, look at that! There's a nice little planet there. he obviously went in and saw something more. Maybe children, families, in some way, shape or form. Oh, you are, Joe? It's very interesting, isn't it? I loved it. I really did. It's well worth a trip out there, and it's not. I mean, it's quite far from the bubble, but it's not ridiculously far. Sun system. And they are all audio logs as well, it's not written logs, so you do get to hear the story that's going on. Well, this is the thing I was saying, Kathina, that the human aspect of it just doesn't work in this format unless you make the stations and stuff more organic. You know, as much as I hate that other game, the fact that you can land in a station, go to the bar, do certain things, and it's not so much that I'm saying I want space legs, I'm saying I want the experience of that. When I land in a station, I want the experience of just feeling like I can go away from my cockpit. You don't even have to represent it in 3D, it could be represented on the computer screen or something. I don't exactly know what I'm expecting, but I just want to feel like I can step away from my ship for 2 minutes. For example, video screens would have been nice, like where people actually talk to you, rather than photographs and text. Not even photographs actually, but you know what I mean. Oh, if this is an F, these might be alright to scan. Oopsie daisy. No. I don't know with these gas giants around it, but we'll see. No, well, this is what I'm saying, but, well, a lot of people feel that the Thargoids are kind of more organic, so they might look a little bit more like what you see, but, you know, like I say, from Jameson's audio log, he saw something more, didn't he? So... No, but I mean, their ships are organic, essentially, aren't they? But with other stuff involved, because they're more evolved than us. That's what I meant, Bob. Sorry, I maybe didn't make it clear enough.
You talking about Thargoids again?
Yeah, just about what Jameson saw, or what he might have seen.
Sorry, I was away. I found pizza.
I thought Brian was nearly there. Ah, they probably are. Brain loaches. I mean, I really don't think... Yep, that's terraformable, that's good, okay. I really don't think asking for example, asking for a bit of animation within the game on a screen or something, I don't think it's a lot to ask for, is it? Bloody Mega Drive could do that. I know, like you say, I do feel that you've got to feel more in tune with the world.
I've only got 100 workers on the game.
That's not bad. No Man's Sky only had, what did No Man's Sky have, 8?
Yeah. They don't tell you where the workers are working. How many people are they working on sound?
It's funny you should say that, because they said I noticed the other day that they said they had hundreds of people working on Jurassic Park. So maybe they're the same hundreds of people.
To be fair to Jurassic Park, it is greatly improved. Probably are.
G-Star again, sorry, 300. Alright, we'll have a look at this one. And then 2. That one's possible. That one's too far. Oof. I'm gonna take a chance on these. I don't think they all will be, but it would be nice to have 4 terraformables. 90 on the help desk, yeah. That's probably why they have copy and paste replies, Bob. Even how about having, if you can't kind of update story and everything for the whole game, maybe just have a couple of mega stations where there's a little bit more story going on at. You know, you could maybe have one for the Federation, one for the Alliance, one for Independence, and not Independence, Federation, the Empire. You know, something that feels like it's a bit more of a hub, and then all the other stations are cast-offs of it or something, you know. And then maybe you could centre certain stories around that, because one of the things about community goals I was thinking the other week is they're always the bloody same. For weeks on end, it's like deliver this or fight to stop people being hijacked, and it'll go like that for months and months and months on end, and then it'll change to let's do a long distance thing where we want people to help out in this place with this, and they generally double up on that, so they'll have 2 separate missions of taking different things. So I think things like that as well, the community goals just need to be much wider in scope.
The bad thing is we don't know what Elite are planning, because they're not talking about after Q4. They're not talking about the next phase of the game. They're not talking about the paid update. There's been nothing. So
yeah,
until they come out and say something, all we can do is hope and dream.
Yeah, they haven't said anything directly about paid content, but they do mention it, so it's somewhere in the pipeline now. I wonder if that's why they stopped things like fleet carriers and ice worlds. Maybe that's going to come as part of paid content.
But it can't come as part of paid content, because they already said that would be part of Q4, so that would be free.
Yeah. It's a hard one to predict. The only the other thing is, as well with paid content, maybe Space Legs will be paid content. No, people don't like people talking about Space Legs, but maybe, because I'm trying to think, in order to get people to buy something, you have to bring in something big. And planetary landings was a big thing. So it has to be something along the lines of that.
See, Space Legs would work if it was like fixed to your ship and maybe select portions of the stadium to start with, but they would need to be busy, alive. It couldn't just be like an empty station with like a few commanders kicking about, having a beer at the bar. You know, there would need to be hundreds, and with the way it works now, you can't even get like 8 or 9 people without crashing the game. So how's that going to work? But then the new mission server could help take load off the server, so who knows?
Well, because this is the thing, Christopher, is that when you think of what Horizons brought, planetary landings, Guardian sites, it is a huge difference from what somebody who doesn't have Horizons can do. There is a big update there, so Spacelink seems to me to be the only other really big option for paid content, unless they're going to do something with more landable planets with more going on. So it's like, alright, you can land, for example, currently you can't land on a water world or whatever, but maybe in the future you can land on a water world, but you're not going to be able to do that with a standard Horizons package. You would have to pay out. Oh, I knew it wouldn't. I knew it wouldn't give me all of them. Never mind. The only thing about atmospheric landings, I can't see it happening in this engine.
I don't want to land on a water world. I want to use my ship like a submarine.
I'm just saying there because Kathina's saying atmospheric landings, but I can't see how that would work in this engine. I can't see it working in this engine at all. If you can't give us the most basic things in this engine...
Cobra Mark II, Elite Mark II. Transfer your commander data, buy the new game.
Could be, could be.
I mean, to be fair, if they had some new great engine and I could transfer my commander data over, I probably would. If I could not transfer my commander data over, I probably wouldn't.
I think a data transfer would be part of it. I really do.
You need to do a transfer.
If it's a paid content update, then they would have to do it.
Well, that wouldn't be a paid content update, that would be a brand new bought game.
Well, I sometimes wonder if that's... I've said it before, I wonder if that's what some of the people are doing, are working on the next iteration of the game. I mean, they're not going to say we're going to stop supporting this one. I don't think that'll be the case. I think there could just be a situation where there's an option of buying another's game which works on the same servers but has better graphical ability.
It wouldn't need to be a new game. As I've said, a new game. They could just build a new game around the engine, and the next time they update the game, you download the new version, and that would technically be it.
Drive charging.
To be honest with you, Kathina, I don't even see that, because they can't even do the...
That could be a possibility in the future, I suppose. Who knows? They're not saying anything.
Yeah, which could mean something or nothing. The thing is people are talking about moon bases and stations and stuff, but to be honest with you, they can't get fleet carriers into the game. If you want a faction in game, you've got to do a massive registration. I don't know. I don't know whether you're gonna. I don't think you're gonna be able to start building bases. That's what I'm saying when I talk about like No Man's Skies. No Man's Sky, the engine, although it doesn't necessarily look it, it is superior to the one in this to a certain extent. And maybe that doesn't have as much work done on it, but it's much more flexible. By that I'm not saying it's a better game, I'm just saying the engine itself is much more flexible and they can do so much more with it. I think this game is running at its absolute maximum ability as an engine. I don't think it's got anything left in it, because I think that's why they struggle with so much, and I think that's why so many bugs just get left. You know, when you talk about some of the bugs in this game, they're so small that other companies would have had them patched out in days. and yet people still go into the stream, live stream, and talk about it, and it's just ignored. So my thoughts on that are that they're just saying we can't fix it. What do we tell people we can't fix it? No, we don't. They are very limited, Bob. Yeah, very limited. I mean, I don't think the game's worth it without Horizons, to be honest with you.
Well, until Q4 drops and then Frontier finally open their mouth about the next chapter of the game, no one will know.
I mean, if Chapter 4, if it does bring some amazing graphical updates and all this stuff, then I'll have hope that they can do more with the engine. But from what I see at the moment, it just seems, you know, how long would it really take someone to create a nebula for the game from looking at pictures from Hubble or something? I mean, does it really take that long?
Because it depends on how unique, how detailed, how large you want it to be.
Well, when you
do you just want a crappy nebula, or do you want something spectacular to look at?
Well, what I'm saying is when you get close to them, they actually start, you can actually see that they are hand-drawn and put into the game. So I don't think they go into like huge amount of detail with them.
I suppose for their point of view, they're thinking the percentage of player base that will actually be there to see that will be so small. Is it really worth spending X amount of hundreds of hours doing that just for like 0.05% of the player base to see it? I don't agree with that, but that's probably how they see it.
Oh, that's interesting, David. Glass doors. I don't even know what that is. Glass door, Elite Dangerous, no? Can you tell me who Glassdoor is there, David? Try and put you can't drop a link in the chat, but what you can do is you can put like Glassdoor dot in words and then com. But I'd be really interested in reading them, David. I'd really like to see some of the inside kind of information. I genuinely would, because it might answer some questions that I have. Glassdoor review, okay. Glassdoor review. Glassdoor reviews. I think it's actually bringing up. Is Glassdoor? Oh, I thought it was like a computer thing. Is it like a job site? Okay, I know what you mean. Okay. Where's Frontier based? I've forgotten. Oh, Frontier Development. Okay, Frontier Development. Okay. Frontier Developments. Okay, there we go. Cambridge they are, isn't it? Okay. Yes. Okay, I'm really interested in reading some of that thing, because I think a lot of information in there, just by reading the first thing I read, is exactly what I say. Unfortunately, that's really sad to see that as well. Literally the first thing I read on the page said what I've said many times over. That's not good. Anyway, the funny thing is, I don't dislike any of the people who work there, because they're making a game that I really, really like, but I have said before that I just think there's something very off about how it's all organised and done. But in the last interview with the guy, I've forgotten his name now, they were saying he's been around a long time, but he was newly in charge of a new department or a new part of the game, which I thought was pretty odd.
4, 3, 2.
Hey, sorry Cypher, I didn't say hello. Thanks for joining in. Thanks for joining to the chat. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. This is one of the things I talk about, why exploration really needs to be upped, and why they're deleting some things out of the game. Like, we've been coming across, I'm in this great exploration thing, and we've come across 2 or 3 places that have been wiped out the game. Because maybe they don't fit exactly how they feel it should be, but I don't think that's a reason for taking stuff out, especially when you've got bugs to fix and stuff. And we use a very small amount of the space in general. I mean, I've said before, let's not forget as well, until I've read all those reviews.
I wonder what the new codex is going to be like.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. I mean, the thing is, we've kind of got a lot of codecs out there. This is one of those things where I think, okay, yeah, it's good for the game itself, but is it truly needed in the game? Oh, look at that little hidden one there right at the end. So we're going to go scan this one, then we'll go scan that one, because they're all connected. Like the I'm always baffled by the audio. I mean, it's good for any I suppose any well, I was going to say people who might be blind who play the game, but then I guess it's quite difficult to play the game in certain ways, apart from all the sounds and stuff. But I was really surprised when they brought in the audio news, when there was actually already 2 websites and a YouTuber that provided it. It just didn't seem like
it's
a very
almost
good...
like they're trying to improve the game based on things that are already there that should be in the game anyway, but they don't want to make the game versions better than the out-of-game versions, because if they did that, then they would be obsolete and nobody would use them.
Yeah.
That's how it kinda seems.
Yeah, it might help the game, Cypher, you might be right.
How would you feel if you spent 2, 3, 4 years working on a project for players of a game to use to enhance their gameplay, and then Elite just come around one day and go, no, fuck you, we're doing this?
Well, I know I thought it was pretty bad when they did it, because I know that those other people put a lot of work into it, and that's what I think about the codex. There's some websites out there that really, I mean, they put together huge amounts of information. But I suppose some people don't know about those websites, so having it in game is probably good. Time and content. Right, okay, so we've got this little ammonia world hidden here.
Yeah, but this is why I think the in-game versions are not as good as the out-game versions, so that other people that know about them still use them more often.
Yeah. Yeah, it could be that. Do you know what, Cthino? You might have a point.
Because at least this way, Elite
I'll
are
come back to that.
giving new players and people that don't know about it that option to find stuff.
Yep, I agree. I mean, why not, Cthina? Here's a really good idea. Why not have a ship like the Gnosis? No, don't worry, Brian. I'm just trying to listen to you and look at the chat and stuff like that, but no, I want you to be involved in it as well, that's the thing. I'm just thinking out loud. Cathina's on about she'd do more stuff if she could go a long distance, and it takes me back to the Gnosis. Why don't they have a ship that goes from the bubble to Colonia once a week? Would you use it?
If I happen to be going to Colonia on that said timeline, then I probably would, but if not, I would have no reason to use it.
Well, the way she's saying it is like, in order to do certain things, like to maybe go to Sagittarius A instead of going all the way from the bubble, you could kind of go from Colonia, which is still a long distance, but at least you're going to be part way there. But then if you maybe even had a station at Sagittarius A, so you kind of have one at each corner, if you will.
Put it this way, it wouldn't be a bad thing to have it in the game.
An interstellar ferry, yeah, basically, yeah. Like an interstellar ferry. Maybe that would get people out searching a little bit. I mean, to be honest with you, the neutron highway, if you can use neutrons...
Like, if someone wants to go to Sag A, but they don't have, like, a 70, 80 light year jump range, that puts them off.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's the thing. I'm just talking about doing, like, if you do the neutron highway... I mean, you saw the other day when we were using that plotter, you can cover thousands of light years really quickly.
It's like 4 jumps I can do just under 1200 light years.
It probably would, Bob.
Fair enough, after every 5th or 6th jump you need to refuel, then if you've done nothing but neutrons you would need to use your AFMU to repair.
I mean, I'm guessing, my guess is, Cathedral, is that the reason they're not in the game at the moment is because the game runs kind of in real time, so those things haven't been introduced. Maybe later on they will be introduced. You know, if the Thargoids get to be too much of a handful, then maybe they'll have to have these options. I've talked about it before, where I wonder sometimes if they would introduce certain things. It's an ammonia world. It's very small. It's in a very strange position, but it's there. And it's mine. Make up subspace cookies. You can't. It has to be. It has to be within the law of the game. That's what some people would say. They've already said they wouldn't. And somebody on that website saying a big lack of communication is a major weakness at the company. I thought, but here's something, Kathina. Not in all seriousness. You love combat, so why don't you like fighting the Thargoids? Is it purely because of, like you said, they're not concentrating enough on the humanitarian side? I mean, I remember when the Thargoids first started showing up, most combat pilots were in their element. Oh, we're almost there, people. I've forgotten it. I've forgotten what we're coming here for. Seriously, I have. Oh yeah, it's a strange system, apparently.
4, 3, 2.
It would be at some point, Cypher. This is what. Well, this is what I think the Formidine Rift is hiding. Personally, I don't know if it's Thargoids or if it's a different bunch, but the Formidine Rift is hiding some type of home base of some type of alien. What type of alien or whatever it is, I don't know, but I think that's what it's hiding. Right, okay.
Is hiding unicorns.
Underground unicorns, if you remember the story.
Of course.
Right, F.
Were they magic ones?
I didn't get to see them. They do teleport people. As long as you don't end up teleported onto the end of a horn. Clangers. Mr. Spoon, Bob. Maybe Mr. Spoon's there, watching everybody from his telescope. Well, anybody who's hanging their knickers out. He didn't seem to like anybody else, did he? I'm telling you, having that website with all the reviews and sitting here and playing the game, it's like having a bar of chocolate sat there that you can't touch. I'll have a good look at it over morning coffee, I will. Yeah, exactly, and that's another thing. Yeah, getting that grind up so you can actually fight the Thargoids. I mean, that's one of the biggest problems with this game actually is that it is in real time, and the reason that's a big problem is because some people are joining the story so far along that they're just nowhere near ready for it for certain parts of it. Even getting to even getting to Guardian bases in some of the ships is a big deal. Well, some of this Guardian stuff's good. Guardian booster gives you an extra 10 light years, which is nice. I should take time and fix that frame shift at some point.
10.5.
Oh, is it 10.5? Oh, that's not going to be terraformable. Damn you. I might go scan it anyway if it's a water world. It's not. I don't know why I thought that was a water world.
Oh, hello, this is a nice system.
On my way.
I know you're on your destination.
Ah, okay, yeah.
Well,
it looks like a nice system, I think.
It's got a little bit of value.
4, 3, 2.
Now I know today's stream's been a bit naff because we're kind of making our way forward, but we are arriving to another section now where there's a lot of different places, so I'm gonna start refining some of my bookmarks and stuff, and actually adding some if I can. So
refining is always good.
Sorry?
Refining is always good.
Yeah, there's definitely... I need to find out if there's any way to find out if some of these, what they must see as abnormalities that have been changed. It's really funny, strange that it's not listed that the things that they're famous for are getting changed or aren't there. Or whether it's just a glitch in my game or something like that Waterworld earlier, I don't know. But did you fly over the rings yourself?
No, I was lazy, I just watched you.
It could just be my version of the game. I might have slagged San Marco off so much that he's just like, right, take everything out of his game.
Yeah, you've got your own special update of the game.
Well, couldn't see that Waterworld.
Frameshift drive charging.
Yeah, I suppose so. Well, I think the distributor's a bit better as well.
How many jumps out are you?
I think I'm 7 now. It might be thin, yeah. Well, the funny thing is, nobody's seen him around recently. He seems to have disappeared. So it's a bit like that. The leader of Scientology's wife, isn't he? He's kind of disappeared a bit. But if you don't know who we're talking about, look at that face. Get a really good look at it. Ah. Sorry, Bob. I know Bob doesn't like that. Right, let me have a look at what I am looking at in this system. Oh, let me see. 5 jumps, Brian.
Frameshift drive charging.
I never get a strike on that, you know.
4, 3, 2.
Well, this is my 2nd trip to... No, it's my 3rd trip.
I'm probably going to call it a night once you get here, and after I've scanned some stuff.
Okie dokie. It's actually my 3rd trip to Sagittarius A, but I've never done it in this way, Cypher. I've never stopped off along all these points, so just for your benefit, because I am that nice of a person, if you look at my galaxy map here, you can see where we are in relation to the bubble. So the bubble's back here. We're actually bloody shifting it here. You can see all of these bookmarks are places up until Sagittarius A. So we've got a bit of a space here. I have to look at some places around there. There must be something. And I've actually mapped some places more towards Beagle Point, but I just started mapping them. I wasn't really paying huge attention to them. So all these places are places we're going to visit on the way, and that's why we really need to refine the search a little bit, just so that we can make this more of a line, and so that we're not turning into these places that are essentially duds, and they're not really. Shut up. They're not really turning out what they should have been turning out, which is it's a real disappointment. The last place that we stopped off at, I was really looking forward to. I've actually been looking forward to it since we left the bubble. So it's...
Do you need arsenic?
Yes, actually, I could do with...
There's a landable here with 2.4%.
Okay, that's good, because I really could actually use some. I think I'm not empty, but I'm low. Well, now with all the engineering stuff, Cypher, and if you learn how to jump neutrons, unfortunately I haven't jumped any neutrons today, but they are really easy to jump once you've got used to doing it. I think in the last stream I jumped a fair few. Then 10,000 light years is doable. I mean, you can do it probably in an hour or so using the neutron highway. As long as you've got a big fuel tank. I don't know how it works, and I don't know how it would work on my down and back. Terraformable? Yep. Okay. We're doing good. Doing good, children. Well, to give you an example, I wanted to do a pit stop at some point. My pit stop's going to be about 5,000 light years, but it won't take long to get there. I think about 10-20 jumps or something like that. So I can kind of do offline. I don't need to do it in stream. It was his idea to do the Gnosis jump, yeah. Probably was. Get in the room. Where's the launch? Fuck the launch. Can I have me diet Pepsi? You can have fuck off. Right, okay. Let's have a look. Sun system? Bloody hell. Oh, only got two little tiny bodies there. But...
Frameshift drive charging.
Where are you from, Cypher, by the way? I didn't ask. I normally ask where people are from when they drop by and say hello.
4, 3, 2.
I think this might be my last jump. Oh, Canada.
Fuel scooping.
Which part? The English-speaking part or the French-speaking part?
Fuel scooping complete.
Oh yeah, I forgot Christopher was there.
Frameshift drive charging.
You too, Kathina97. Have a good night. Sleep tight. Try not to dream too much. Have a really good evening. She's... look... You're right, Ellidsgar. She's a violent woman. She's even hitting the sack.
Fuel scooping complete. Frameshift drive charging.
Do you like hockey, Cypher? I'm a big hockey fan.
4, 3, 2.
think a Guardian?
What, hockey or ice hockey?
Ice hockey. I don't mind hockey as well, but it's not as good as ice hockey.
Fuel skipping.
It's like five-a-side football on steroids. Right, let's... Oh, we got an earth type. Okay. Which one's the arsenic one?
It's the only landable on the North Sun.
Okay.
So 3A.
No, I don't think it's in your blood, but I know what you mean.
A little hint for you. Scan planets 2 and 3.
Okay.
4 and 5. Scan them all but the first one.
You'll have to go back now. Oh, I love watching it, but yeah, I mean, every North American sport has been commercialized in that way. They're all pretty... American football is probably one of the hardest to watch because of it. Although I love it, even the best games can seem a little bit boring because there's just so many commercials and stoppages going on. Alright, Bob, night. See you later. Don't let the bed bugs bite. Oh, pond hockey. Actually, the new NHL game for the PlayStation, there's going to be pond hockey. What's its moon like? Ooh, its moon might be terraformable. Like that size?
Unfortunately not.
Oh no, bugger.
You may as well scan it anyway, you're right beside it.
Yeah. High expectations. Just about to do it, hasn't it? It never tells you though in this bloody screen properly if it's done it or not. You come back out, and it'll be finished. Yeah, but you go back in, it's not bloody available. I don't know when that started happening. Never used to do that. It used to show up when it was scanned. Do you know, if you ever want to win curling, you've just got to get some obsessive compulsives on your team. You're going to win gold medals all around. Oh, actually, I did watch a college lacrosse game not so long ago, yeah. It reminds me a little bit of hurling.
And on the second sun, the first one's what world's terraformable.
I just thought you were writing lacrosse in the Spanish way. Don't worry, Chris. Lacrosse. I actually like watching your version of Dragon's Den. I don't know if you watched that on TV. There's a British version. I don't really like the British version. People are moody bastards. I like the Canadian version. I'm really interested sometimes in borders, and I was actually looking at some of the border regions of Canada and America as well, which the other day, which is super interesting. It's casting. Come on.
Yeah, so there's 6 nice planets here.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it is quite a pretty system. I'm still kind of trying to work out why it's considered one of the spots to see. I mean, I can understand for its variety. There's definitely variety there, but
Someone's probably just marked it down because it's worth so much.
Retrieving encrypted message.
wait.
I mean, you've got 2
Big deal.
2 terraformable metals on Earth, 2 water worlds and a terraformable water world. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, a high value system or something. I'm sure when I looked at it though, it said planetary features or something like that.
It's nearly 3 million credits. Well, it's got an arsenic planet. I think I'm going to land here and call it a night.
Have you got your wing beacon? You have got your wing beacon on, haven't you?
Yeah, my bacon's on.
Okay, let's look.
I was down at the second sun. I'm heading back up to the top one now. I was scanning the 2 water worlds.
Yeah, A3A. Okay. Oh yeah, I can see you now. I might have a pop down on my SRV and maybe do a couple of minutes of collecting arsenic if I can find it. It isn't. Arsenic's grade 4, isn't it?
I don't think it's grade 4. I think it's grade 3.
Oh, is it? But it's just very hard to come by, isn't it?
Yeah, cause it's used in a lot of the top end synthesis, like FSD and your engineers and stuff. In fact, arsenic's grade 2.
Oh wow, I didn't realise it was that low. It might be, actually, another reason this system might be one of the stop-off points is it's a, what's called jumponium system.
Yeah.
Let's have a look. The jumponium system, if you didn't know, is where the whole system has enough things to synthesize your FSD for a big jump. Because you can synthesize X amount extra in your jumps. Now I don't really do this because I have trouble.
Basically doubles your jump range.
It certainly does, yeah.
It's not as good as a neutron, but still good.
Yeah, I mean, the only reason I don't really do it is because I always seem to have trouble plotting when I do it. Yes, I did. I've talked about it at length.
Are you landing on the arsenic planet? Or
I'm gonna do, yeah.
Scanning all the stuff first?
No, I'll land on it. I'll scan it when I leave. It's quicker to jump out that way.
The second star isn't too far away.
Was it 10,000 light seconds or something?
Something like that.
I think the new exploration system will actually work better than people think it will. My biggest contention on it is if planets have already been discovered.
nearly 12. Once you get your speed up, it's not long.
Yeah, and then you only have to do it one way if you jump out afterwards. So I think it's actually going to be a beneficial, and I think it's going to make it a bit more interesting. And you basically, if you haven't seen it, Christopher, I'm sure you have though, haven't you? You're going to have this screen now where you scan the planets through this screen. They'll kind of have radio waves to pick them up. I think it'll work alright. I really do. I hope it works alright. Should we put it that way? Maybe best to put it that way. And in some ways it will make it faster. I think it will make it faster to scan a system. As long as I don't think you'll be able to do it as fast at the beginning, but I think on a whole, if you are, once you get the hang of how to do it, I think it will become.
It will be faster if you want to scan each individual planet.
Yeah, but like I said, they said you should be able to you'll be able to filter out certain things. So if you don't want to scan gas giants, you'll be able to filter that signature out. You know, like you do now if you don't want to pick up.
I just hope asteroids don't count as astronomical bodies when scanning the system for 100%.
The asteroid belts, you mean? No, they don't.
Yeah,
I think he answered that. I think he's...
Yeah, when you scan them, they count as the... Well, in-game right now, they do count as it.
Yeah, in game at the moment they count as a thing, don't they? But you don't get paid for them, I don't think.
No, you don't get paid, but they're still a astronomical body. So if you're having 100% scan for bodies, they count.
I think he answered that question because I'm sure somebody asked it and he said no.
I hope not, because that'd be a pain in the arse.
Well, I'm going to test the beta when it comes out. I don't know how long I'll spend testing the beta because it's not. I've said it before. I'd rather it just kind of goes live. I'd rather just play it when it goes live, but I do want to get a look on how it works. I think it's such a big change in the core mechanics of the game that it's probably important to.
It's like you want to test it, but you don't want to waste time because you're not in live.
Yeah, and also just because it feels a bit like once you know what you're doing before it comes live, then it kind of breaks the kind of, if you're playing the game like a real like not real life, but you get what I mean, like a character. But I think it's such a big change in the mechanics that you have to try it out. Okay, we're going to take it down a little bit here. We're quite high actually. I thought I was a bit lower than that. We're down to about 100. Just back up slightly until we find some decent terrain. Oops. Oh, just passed one there. Never mind. There we go. Oh, we're in a good spot. Sod's law. There we go. That wasn't actually that bad, was it? I found it straight off the bat. I forget this one's a bit high G, but you do have to go less.
Are you landing in the crater?
Yeah, I always do. The only reason is because the land's a bit flatter in the crater in general. So let's go have a quick look around. well. Something along here. I don't know actually how to read the wave scanner fully, so I don't know what I'm heading towards, but it'll be something shooty and grabby wabby. So that's alright. I've just never, I'll be honest, I've just never taken the time.
Anything on the bottom section is like a material thing. Anything on the top the wave scanner is man-made, like a beacon or a crash ship.
Right.
And anything in the middle is like firm rolls and mountains, volcanoes, shit like that.
Alright, I didn't know actually about the middle ones. I knew about the top ones and the bottom ones kind of being...
Go to your wave scanner, Dot, it shows you.
I did, I just forgot. I forget things quite quickly. If they don't interest me a whole lot. Right, okay. Bronzite. Let's see what we've got here. Probably got a ton of these I've probably wiped off. We got phosphorus. Alright, we'll take phosphorus and iron. Sulfur, we don't need sulfur. Phosphorus. Phosphorus. Okay, doke. Right, let's continue along here. There's something here. One thing is that the ship over there, I don't know if ship to reads as a false positive sometimes. Hey, see ya, wouldn't want to beat you. Right, here we go. It keeps leaning off to the left, that, and I'm...
Where are you? I can't see you.
Can you see me now? Can you see me now?
I've landed beside your ship.
Can you see my ship?
Yeah, I can see your ship.
Okay, so if you look kind of, my ship's directly to your right. If you look kind of...
Do you see me?
I can see your ship, yeah.
Do you see my scarab?
Oh, I can't see your scarab, no.
I'm right by my ship.
Oh, I can see your scarab now, yes, I think. Can you see, can you not see my lights?
I don't even see your scarab on radar.
Oh. I don't know if I see your... I think I see your scarab on radar. Oh no, that says unmanned. Oh no, you're... okay, so take a... You're close to my ship. Okay, so if you... The direction my ship's pointing, you're behind a rock. That's why you can't see me, actually. Oh, well, not behind a rock, behind a hill. If you go slightly to the left of my ship, you should come across me. Bit of iron.
Crapola.
Phosphorus. Oh, I got some arsenic.
I think I've become one with your ship.
You might have, because it looks like you've disappeared now. Manganese. No, we've got manganese and sulfur. What else have we got? Carbon. Oh, phosphorus.
I think my scarab has got intimate with your landing gear.
I can come and try and push you off.
Because I can't boost, I can't get off it.
What if I dismiss my ship? Will that help, do you think?
Either that or it'll kill me.
You've only got 2 scarabs, haven't you? Give us a second, I'll come nudge you first. Let's go phosphorus. Not before I collect this phosphorus. Oh look, I'm going past loads of things here. You know what I'm giving up? Oh, I hope they stay there. And northwest of my ship, okay. Or more like west, actually.
I still can't see you. No, I am in your ship.
Yeah, I can kind of see that. I don't know how you did that. Hang on.
You're going towards my ship swiftly.
I am wrong green. Yes, it's also one of those questions. Right, let's have a look. Where is he?
I mean, I cannot see you in game. I can see me in your stream, but I can't see you in game.
This happens sometimes. It's happened with Bob before, I think. Have you got 3 there? Didn't realise there was a big wheel there.
How does this happen?
Right, you're not going anywhere, so I'm going to try and dismiss my ship. So, we'll see what happens here. This is what you get for humping people's ships, people. 3.
Be gentle. Well, that was surprisingly fine.
Yeah, that was very soft on you.
I have no idea where you are. I'll hit you. Are you shooting me or are you ramming me?
No, you rammed into me. Right, northwest, wasn't it? Northwest was 2. Oh, they've dropped out. There we go. Klondike, so Great, let them down. Oh, iron and nickel. Iron and nickel. As if I don't need the iron. Oh, sulfur. No, I don't need sulfur. Okay. That's the next one. There's another one somewhere around here. There we go. Oi. Away. What do you do? Ugh, iron and phosphorus. 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 I'm nearly full with phosphorus, so it isn't a massive requisite to have any. Oops, there he goes. Brian's always showing off. I thought I'd found something special and I realised it was a false positive. But we'll go along here. See if I can't find just a couple more.
Don't look at the signals at the top, look at the signals at the bottom of your scanner. Follow them.
Yeah, but sometimes your SRV shows as a bottom one. I don't know why.
Yeah, the SRV shows as a bottom and the top. It's like a continuous bar.
Right, this is going to be 2 or 3 rocks, this, by the looks of it. There's the first one, there's the second one. Ooh, there's your right. Carbon, ooh, mercury and tungsten. See what we've got. Yep, and arsenic, that'll do. That's a good one. Carbon, mercury. Carbon, sulfur, manganese. Oh no, I'm full of manganese as well. Arsenic.
There's sulfur and manganese here.
Sulfur and?
Manganese. And then nickel. But nickel's crap.
I think I'm full of nickel actually. Oopsie-do. Need to get clear of the ships really. Yeah, normally logging out and it'll fix that stuff. Oh, come on, something needs to load in. Got a massive canyon here. Oh, hull integrity 50%. Oh, and my fuel reserves are down actually, I need to remember that. Whoa. 2.5. Right, let's just repair this. And we can fuel up. Okay, so at least we need to collect some more sulfur now. Oh wow, arsenic for better petrol. And technetium. Never found it yet. I have to have a look at that one. Okay people, I am going to call it a night for the stream. I've been streaming for just over 3 hours, 3.5 hours now, so it's a little bit longer than I wanted to. Probably the next stream will be Wednesday, although who knows, tomorrow night you might see me stream a little bit or something, you never know. But I'm trying to kind of even out one night on, one night off at the moment. We'll see as we go. So keep an eye out for me going live, because I don't generally set my don't set specific times, because like tonight sometimes I get on a little bit later, but it's normally this usual time, 3 hours before now and whatnot. So thanks ever so much everybody for joining in the stream tonight. It's good to have you all, and I'll see you next time I'm on. Okay, 9-7.